Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Nashville Tour Stop podcast, episode number 113, featuring Kiernan McMullan. Welcome to the pod, buddy.
Great to be here.
Thank you for coming on. I'm glad I actually said your name right.
Dude, I feel so welcomed with the correct name and everything. It's really beautiful.
The hardest eye contact me and you have ever had. Let's see if we can do this whole episode without breaking eye contact.
Just heavy breathing.
This is great for audio only.
Mm-hmm. I'm so uncomfortable.
Just believe
right now.
I'm so uncomfortable now too. Let's break this shit.
I feel like are we engaged now? I think we're engaged.
Well, what have you been up today, man?
Oh man. Well, I saw our resident sound engineer Alex. I saw him earlier today.
Mr. Amato on our ones and twos.
Oh yeah. I did a little promo video. I've been touring a lot, playing gigs, just doing Pindrop stuff, Pindrop Songwriter Series, booking a ton of shows. I just went to Utah to play some shows. Rode a snowmobile for the first time.
Really?
Yeah, that was fun.
What was that like? I've never done that before.
It was like true freedom.
You're like, I am man versus wild.
I mean, dude, the wild had nothing on me, dude. I was man, and I was on a snowmobile. No, it was awesome. I almost fell twice.
But you didn't.
But I didn't. It's actually harder than you think, because when you're going on a hill like so, and you got to like put your whole body onto one side of it to get yourself to not
because they're so heavy, right?
Yeah, they're really heavy.
What inspired you to do that?
Oh, a rich guy that had like 15 snowmobiles.
I wonder what that's like.
Yeah, one day.
It's like, if you mess one up, that's not any problem.
Yeah, I mean, I got like 16, 17 snowmobiles, but his 15 were cool too.
Are you an outside kid? Are you one of those?
I became an outside adult. Like, I think when I was a kid, I mean, I spent a lot of time outside because it was the 90s and there was nothing to do inside the house other than like read Prince Caspian or like, watch
Lion the Witch in the Wardrobe.
Yeah, or like watch friggin' Rugrats or whatever. Like, I don't know. There wasn't a whole lot going on inside the house. So I was definitely outside the house a lot as a kid, but I never really loved like camping and all that sort of stuff. Right. I like the snow. I like snow things, snowboarding and skiing and stuff. But
you ever been skiing or snowboarding?
Oh, yes. I actually grew up skiing from when I was 3 years old.
Really?
And believe it or not, fun fact that I guess nobody really knows is I was actually qualified to teach skiing by the time I was 15 years old.
No kidding.
And I probably, after high school in America, would have moved to a mountain and like done that. But like been a teacher.
That's one hell of a teaser. Where'd you grow up?
Near Boston.
Okay.
And we would go up to Maine and New Hampshire all the time. And then at that age, I moved to Ireland and started playing guitar, and everything kind of changed.
Right.
Like I played some music growing up, but I just loved the mountain, and that was what I was like. Oh, after high school, I think I'll go do that. I'll live in the mountain. And
is there good skiing up in the Northwest or Northeast?
Oh, it's amazing.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard pack. It's not as powdery as the West, but there's some beautiful mountains up there. Yeah, really? Sunday River, and we were at Waterville Valley a lot.
That's something that I've never known about you.
Yeah, I know. I got little secrets. I got my secrets.
What else are your secrets? This is the expose, the Nashville expose.
Well, I'm a top 1% OnlyFans creator, and I'm just kidding. God, I wish I'd have so much more money.
How long did you live in Ireland?
My parents moved them and me over there when I was like 14, 15, going into high school time.
Okay.
So after 9th grade that summer, my dad's Irish, my mom's Australian, and so we were kind of moving sort of back to Ireland near a lot of my dad's family. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was like 4 years of high school there, college, and then I got a record deal, and then I was pretty much back in America by the time I was 21.
Did you have dual citizenship?
Yeah.
Cool.
I was born in Hong Kong.
So you have Chinese citizenship?
Obviously.
Yeah, you give off big
I'm 100%
Eastern
Chinese.
Asian vibes.
Yes, thank you. That's what I...
You are a proud Asian American woman.
I'm a proud Asian American Irish pale man. Yeah, no, I was born in Hong Kong when I was 2. My parents moved to Boston, and then I ended up with an Australian passport and an Irish passport.
Okay.
Which I still have. Although I can't find my Australian passport right now, but don't tell my mother.
All right, so you got your record deal and moved back to the States. Did you go back to the Northeast?
I went on the road like immediately. So November of 2008. Yeah, November 2008, I came over, I started hitchhiking and taking Greyhound buses. I had a deal, but I didn't have a van yet. That was coming in the new year.
Right.
But I had booked all these shows. This is all so dated, but I'd booked all these shows on MySpace.
Which is a thing, man.
Oh my God, it was the
I was of the MySpace age. Who was in your top 8?
Oh,
I had Weird Al.
It rotated. It was my actual friends, people in bands I knew.
That's cool.
And like maybe Jack Johnson or something. Yeah. God,
give off the island
8.
vibe.
Then it was like top 16. Then it was like top 24. And then like top 100. It's like, how can I even? How am I supposed to rate all my friends like this and make them feel less than one another if you're giving me 100 tops? You know what I'm saying? Anyways, nobody understands this because MySpace. But I booked all these shows and I started touring and playing at colleges and coffee houses and wherever I could find a place to play. And then in 2009, I got a Ford Freestar minivan and just started. I was on the road 300 days a year.
Damn.
Yeah, just all the time.
You were road dogging it from a young age.
Hard, man. Yeah, real hard. And like some days were even like multiple shows. It'd be like a radio interview, but then I'd go play in like a cafeteria at a college or something, and then an RA hall, and then a show.
$50.
Yeah, man, $50. But honestly, back then people were buying CDs. So
Really?
you know, you go play for 30 kids at in the hall in their dorm, unplugged, and of those 30 kids, I'd sell 20 CDs because people have an emotional moment with it. You know, they're connected to the experience they're having, and they want a totem. Half the people probably never listen to the CD.
How do you feel that that's changed now with like the physical experience? Because nobody's buying CDs the way they used to. Like if you go on the road now, are you selling other kinds of merch to give the audience that potential totem or the memory from the show?
That's a good question. Nobody's really buying anything anymore, but
that's definitely true.
You know,
it says the box of Tour Stop shirts sitting in my trunk.
I believe you. I mean, it's hard to sell a koozie as it is to sell a CD these days. People are very tight at the shows, but I still sell CDs on the road, to be honest with you. I think it's the same concept. I sell less, but it's the same concept. Someone comes up, they see cool artwork, they see the thing, I can sign it for them, and they can have a little moment. Oh, I had a great show, I enjoyed that show, and put it up. I don't think it's about listening to it. They're going to go on Spotify or Apple or whatever, and that's their prerogative. I mean, I've brought vinyls and records to shows that I used to have some vinyls of my album Baggage. Those sold almost less than CDs, man. I feel like
vinyls are a pricey thing to have these days.
So pricey to make,
right? Because they're up in the like $20, $30 per piece.
Yeah.
Like that's why people have to sell them for so much.
Yeah, no, 100%. I won't even go into what it cost me to get the vinyls made, but it's an expensive process. You got to get, there's different pieces to get it made, and you got to get it mastered differently, and then you get it on a vinyl lathe, and you create like a mint, like almost like a money mint looking thing to create it's a whole thing. So it's very expensive. But yeah, I think on the road, mostly like I just sell trinkets, stickers, and CDs and stuff is just things, a reason for somebody to tip. It's almost like they're just tipping. It's not about that. If someone wants a t-shirt, I got an online merch store. They can go buy a t-shirt or a hoodie if they want. But yeah, I don't really know. Please tell me where to make money in music these days. I would love to know.
You can refer to our 2 episodes ago. Me and Tori Grace actually did an episode about how to get extra tips at our gigs.
Oh, yeah. I would love that. I'm going to have to listen to that
She's got a tip bucket. She calls the slut bucket.
Yes, let's go. It's probably huge.
Yeah, she put fishnet stockings on it.
Oh, I love that. Nice.
But let's talk about, there's so much I want to cover today.
Yeah.
But let's kind of direct it here. We started with your music career. You're also a promoter, entrepreneur yourself. You started a show with your fiance, Stevie Ray Stevens, called Pindrop Songwriter Series.
That's the one. She wasn't my fiance at the time.
She was not.
When we started.
Just your girlfriend back then.
Yeah, that's like not the story you hear. We started a business together while we were living together, and it worked out. It's usually the total opposite of that.
Well, we'll talk about Pindrop in a bit, but what was your background in music? What made you want to start being a pro musician? What led to getting the record deal?
Yeah, well, okay, so moved to Ireland. I'm 15 years old. I've been playing piano my whole childhood. I start guitar when I'm there, and guitar was kind of like an easier avenue to get into songwriting. It felt like I was like, oh, this makes more sense to just writing songs.
Right.
Then eventually I realized piano is amazing and equally as good, but I was just coming from a lessons kid perspective. Anyway, so I started writing songs. In high school, I was in punk bands. I played drums in a Rage Against the Machine cover band. I just wanted to play all the time. So I was playing at shows anytime I could. weekends, things like that, even while I was in school. And then by the time I was 18, I just wanted to get on the road. I couldn't yet, so I went to Dublin and I did a year getting diplomas in lighting, stage production, music technology, live sound, all that stuff. So I have a stack of diplomas that have never needed to show anybody for any job I've ever gotten in music.
Those too.
Yeah, cool. Really, really helpful. But I learned a lot, and I made my first proper record up there. And
what was that called?
It was called New Age Robin Hood. No one will ever see or hear it. It was the first full length I put together. It's not on the internet. It will never be on the internet.
It's probably in someone's like 2003 Ford Focus.
Dude, the cover was just like brown. You know what I mean? It's just like made on paint. Brown. Let's put a sparkle on it. Okay, that's done.
Let's use the hairspray function.
What about papyrus? Now, that's literally what I used. I used the font papyrus. Yeah.
So. The best part is I still see people using papyrus as album artwork. And
Avatar.
It's like, come on. Anyways, there's so many free font websites that you couldn't have gone to for anything else.
I know. So 20 years ago, I used papyrus, and it's all gone uphill from there. No,
I think I used American Typewriter on my first album.
I like American Typewriter. I still like it. No, anyways, I basically, like, I had that record, and it kind of it was a start. And then one of my best friends, high school friend from my first band, Owen Lewis, who's become an incredible producer, engineer, has many accolades to his name. He and I were both in that same college, having been in the same high school too. And he and I decided to make another full length called Perfect People Are Boring. That's the album that I ended up sending around, and that got me a deal with 111 Records, which was a Warner subsidiary. And then that kind of gave me the push, the tour support to get on the road in America. And it was run by one of the guys from LFO. You know,
that's
I
cool.
like girls that wear Abercrombie. Yeah, Brad Fischetti from LFO ran the label. It was like kind of a emo. It had like the Spill Canvas and Rookie of the Year and stuff like that on it. And so I was touring with a lot of emo bands and Warped Tour bands and stuff like that. I don't know. Kids bought a lot of CDs back then.
What was the sound of your music back then? Or would you say
unsure? It was really unsure. Like, if you listen to Perfect People Are Boring, which is the earliest thing I had that is available on Spotify or whatever, be gentle, be nice. I was a kid. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was writing all these songs at 18 years old. There's rock songs. There's an electronic song. There's me trying to be folky. There's me trying to be jazzy, like Jason Mraz or something. I mean, the whole album is like, what does Kiernan want to do? You know, I listen to the album, I'm like, who am I? At the end of it, it sounds like a schizophrenic album of just like, this person is many multiple personalities or something. And I think over time, I just kind of was able to get better. Honestly, I think as you get better, you're able to find what it is you really do.
Right.
Because when you aren't that good, you do whatever is fun for a second, but you can't keep it consistent, you know? You can rock out for a second, but you can't keep that up. It's like that takes talent. Finding what you do and doing it consistently, but never boring anybody, you know? But yeah, I don't know. So that album was a little bit all over the place, and then it kind of started to hone in from there.
So what brought you to Nashville then?
God, I moved to Nashville like 14 years ago.
Pre-Skyline.
Where is it? Yeah, pre-Skyline, pre-traffic,
pre-traffic,
pre-paying for parking,
pre-potholes.
Dude, I used to go play on Broadway sometimes, and you could just park outside of Tootsie's or whatever on the street for free. Walk in, play a show, just walk out, get in your car, and walk away, drive away.
Sounds like it's fake.
Oh, it was so beautiful. It kind of was like the reason I moved here. I mean, shit. One time, I parked my car on a Friday night because I had some friends in town on Broadway. It was a long weekend. I picked that car up Tuesday morning. No ticket. It just sat there outside Robert's Western World for 4 days, basically?
And now if that car is there for more than 20 minutes, someone's already put a boot on it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that 20 minutes, if you're being legal about it, costs about $800.
Did you see the Explore Nashville video they put up on Instagram a few weeks ago? It was how to spend $50 downtown. And it was park at 5th and Broadway and then leave immediately.
Drive over one pothole.
I got a flat tire today.
Yeah, that's how you spend $300 in a night.
Yeah, that's how you spend $300. But it's really weird how the city has changed, because I've only been here for 7 years and you've been here for 14. So I can understand your vision of what old Nashville was is quite different than mine.
It was awesome, man. It was awesome.
So
I don't know. I mean, it's like you never want to be the guy who's like, "Oh, everything's ruined now. There's more people here." I love all the people that are here.
Right.
We have our community because of all the people that have moved here. Almost everyone playing Pindrop, and they're great, are people who moved here like during COVID or 5 years ago or 2 years ago, 2 months ago, and they're all great. But fuck, I miss the chill nature of Nashville. I miss being able to get across town in 6 minutes.
Right.
You know, there was never any traffic. 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you could get from where we are right now on Music Row over to Shelby, over to 5 Points, East Nashville. I got there in 6 minutes one time.
Wow.
No, it wasn't.
That'd be like a half an hour drive minimum now.
It's ridiculous because you're just sitting and yeah.
You could almost walk faster.
You could. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could take a scooter. Don't even get me started on the scooters.
Yeah, I've got a lot of that I don't want to call it animosity, but like it is weird because the stuff that we moved here loving is definitely changing.
Yeah.
And the dynamics that we're trying to preserve, that community, when I first moved here, I didn't feel like that existed. So I'd love to know, you haven't been here 14 years ago. Yeah. Was that sense of community as alive as it was back then, or as it is now as it was back then?
It's like more vibrant now, but it was there, man. Like Nashville has that in its spirit, I think. Like I was definitely taken in and shown a lot of kindness and community by a lot of the, like, I guess the East Nashville scene at the time. It was awesome. It was like, you know, you're even talking people like Margot Price and stuff who was hanging, who was just doing Buffalo Clover and playing shows, and all of our friends, Jared from Repeat was doing East Nashville Underground in his house. You know, we were all just, it was very, it was very local. I mean,
right.
there was no noise complaints because you're doing band practice in your house. Next door, you got like 19 people living in a house. Over here, you got a crackhead sleeping in a couch in his lawn. And it's like,
that's East Nashville.
That was East Nashville. Actually, and there was something beautiful about it because there were no Audis there. You know what I mean? There was no Mercedes parked in East Nashville. There were no tall and skinnies. Everybody was in the same boat. Didn't matter, big, tall, skinny, white, black. It wasn't an issue. It was, you're all in the same boat because you're living in this shitty ass part of town. So let's all be nice to each other. And then you go over to other parts of town and people are a little bit pretentious and weird. And that's kind of becoming all of Nashville now, which is sort of a bummer.
I had a hard time getting plugged in Nashville early on.
Yeah.
Because you were one of the few people who remembers my old band,
Dirt Road Degenerates.
The old.
You covered your eyes and played guitar solos.
I was never that flashy. The other guy was.
Oh yeah, that's right. The blindfold.
I put my guitar behind my head like
that's
an
right.
ass.
That's right.
But I had a hard time getting plugged in back then because I felt like the scene wasn't into my kind of music.
Yeah.
And early on, one of the reasons why I started Tour Stop, at least why Chris and I did it, was because like we didn't fit in anywhere. So we like built the bubble we wanted to be part of.
That's it.
And
yeah.
I see a lot more of that now. Not the bubble, so to speak, but a lot more of the people who are like intentionally welcoming. Yeah.
I think that's how you do it. Like even the East Nashville scene that I'm talking about from a dozen years ago, it came out of people who didn't feel that they belonged on Music Row.
Right.
And those people now have created this massive Americana scene. Like East Nashville is one of the epicenters of, I'll say, modern Americana, the way it's kind of coming out right now and massively popular. It was kind of on the precipice of popularity back then. And so I don't know. I think no matter what, you have to create your own bubble a little bit. You know, if you want to do something, just do it yourself.
Just do it yourself.
Just do it yourself. There's no
that DIY podcast.
Yeah,
baby.
man. If you're just exactly right, we're just sitting here. What is this? Like, there's cables everywhere. I'm just kidding.
It's not pretty.
It's not pretty in here, man. DIY. I got 3 drinks I'm still drinking a chia seed smoothie from my house. This isn't flashy, guys.
You've got 3 bevies right in front of you.
I know, and I feel too uncomfortably awkward to drink any of them right now.
Oh, go
what
do
if
it.
What if I spill it?
Slurp for the camera.
Oh, can we take some? We got a call. We got a call here on the line. You'd like me to drink? You like me to drink the coffee? Okay, it's a dicey move. It's the most full of all the cups.
Well, you are. I don't even know what the right word is. You're a very public figure, at least in my eyes right now, because of Pindrop. So what were the backgrounds of Pindrop Songwriter Series? And for those of you listening who aren't familiar with Pindrop, would you please give our listeners the skinny on what you guys do too?
Pindrop, in a lot of ways, is very similar to Tour Stop in that we're mostly local based. You know, we have touring artists that come through as well, and we do a lot of in the round songwriters in the round. It started at Belcourt Taps, same as you guys. R.I.P. Man, it was a beautiful, debaucherous, magical, toxic.
We can talk about that in a minute.
Friendly, poisonous. I don't know. It was a beautiful place. I miss it dearly. My liver doesn't miss it. My liver's doing better now. But it was a wonderful place. Anyways, we started rounds in there. Honestly, Stevie and I were just the bartenders. We just bartended, and we wanted good music on the nights, the Fridays and Saturdays that we were working. And, there were all sorts of, who's booking this night? Who's booking? Then we get in there, and it'd be double booked or nobody be booked. I'm like, dude, it's Friday night. I'm trying to make some money here and actually have some people and have a good night, have a fun night.
Yeah.
So we just started booking the shows for free just to make sure the music came in and was good. And then then the money wasn't even important. Then it became more about, it was like, this is amazing. Fun. All our friends can come here. We can all share songs. We're creating something that is making me not even want to bartend. I just want to be here playing the music. And we'd get up and like play songs in the middle of our shifts and stuff. Great for tips. Whoa, the bartender just got up on stage. I'm so Nashville. Oh my God.
The bartenders both write songs?
Yeah. What? That's crazy. I'm going to tell you, every bartender writes songs here. If you see a bartender, they're writing songs.
They're writing songs.
Yeah, 2 a.m. when they get off work. So it started at Belcourt, and then Belcourt closed, and it was sort of a shit or get off the pot moment for us where, like, do we name it something? It didn't even have a name. It was just Steve and Kiernan are putting on music at the weekends, I think, or whatever. Right. And people would come hang out. But then we were like, we need to name it. Let's name it something that makes people want to come listen and be quiet. And we moved it to Cabana for a while, and now we're at Sonny's in Germantown. And then we do stuff at the Listening Room, the Bowery Vault, the Basement, True Music Room downtown. Anywhere where we can put on a good
original show,
a good night of music, all original, always, no covers.
That's something that I don't remember being as prevalent back when I first moved here, because there were the rounds that happened on the Demonbreun Strip. Yeah, but I don't remember as many like exclusively like let's just play our songs. Like, I don't feel like there were as many rounds 5 years ago.
No, and there wasn't.
There's a ton now.
There were a ton of rounds in places like Bluebird and such, but honestly, the rounds were all the same. I used to go out all the time. You go to Live Oak or something. It's like all just, I'm about to say this as a dude with a backwards hat and a beard, but all just backwards hat dudes with beards. So boring.
Takes one to know one.
Yeah, I am one, and I saw so many clones of me just playing songs about trucks and whiskey and freaking blue jeans. Every song. It's like, could you imagine sitting next to a guy in a round and he plays a song just like the song you're about to play? He's like, I got my jeans and my blue jeans and Jesus or whatever. And then, it goes on to the next guy and the guy's like, anyway, this song is called Blue Jeans and Jesus. Man, what the shit was that all about? What the shit was
that? We were talking about this last week because I think it was back when you were bartending at Alley Taps. I hosted a tour stop show where I booked all people named Alex. Do you remember that night?
Yeah.
I booked the Alex show. It's like, I'm not deliberately trying to show people that they're not unique, but like there is a lot of the homogeny of Nashville that I don't think some of these people recognize.
No, it's bizarre. They're like not in on the joke or something.
That's why when I play my How to Write a Country song, which I'm sure you've heard, I've straight up had the backwards hat, bearded dude come up and back. You know, a lot of people write songs just like that, right? And they're like,
yeah, I do.
That's why it's funny.
Yeah. No, not just like everybody does.
Everybody does.
The joke.
It's like that. This song is on the radio 5 songs in a row right now.
It's like, come on, man. Just, I don't know, try harder. But everyone in Nashville is just so many people here are not trying hard enough to make art. They're just trying to make it. They're trying to make it. They're trying to get famous or get a #1 so they can marry someone and have a house and just be done. You know, their goal there's a means to an end to a lot of people's Nashville thing. I have an aptitude for guitar and singing and rhyming words, so I'm going to go write a song for Morgan Wallen and then I'm going to buy a house. And it's like, all right, that works for a couple people, but that's like the most pathetic thing I've ever heard anyone ever say in my life. Try harder.
Right.
And if you care that little about music and songwriting and art, get out of the way.
Get out of the way.
Get out of the way. Other people who are vocationally life devoted to this are desperately trying to find space while keeping their own integrity. And then if the guy comes in and goes, well, I have no integrity, I'll stand right in front of you, that guy's always going to get the gig.
Yep.
People without integrity get all the gigs. They'll do anything for anyone.
I've seen it over and over and over again where people who treated me like a dick at my shows, I quit booking. And then I see them get pub deals and stuff. And I'm like, well, maybe I should start booking people I hate. Because you see it time and time again. It's that exact thing. And we don't want this to be like a slamming podcast to shit talk people. But you do hate to see the people without the integrity kind of getting rewarded for it.
Yeah, yeah. And luckily, I see a lot of people with integrity get rewarded too. There's a whole ecosystem that's happening. And some of the ecosystem is messed up. Some of it's doing just fine. And it's like, it doesn't really matter. I think there's space for everybody. So if someone comes in and their goal is to do that, in a lot of ways, I don't see them as competition to me because I don't think competition's really a part of this. And also they're doing something totally different.
Right. Like it's apples and oranges.
Yeah. My goals in life if they don't align with yours and you're really not taking up the space, I guess, in what I want to do. But there are people who are really great at doing what those people with integrity don't want to do.
Like, I've had people ask me point blank, like, are you trying to be the next Whiskey Jam? And I'm like, no.
No.
And for those of you listening who don't know what Whiskey Jam is, Whiskey Jam is probably the most popular local, like, songwriter
regular
show.
Night, yeah.
And they've had, something like 900 #1 songwriters or something. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But I don't...
And me.
and Kiernan and me. No, I don't strive to be the next big, something that's already big.
Yeah.
Because I want to carve out my own piece and do my own thing. Yeah. It's like, I don't want to be like, oh, she's the new Taylor Swift. Like, no. Taylor Swift is still...
That's boring to be the same as... I mean, just be yourself.
Be yourself, and the right people will like it.
Yeah. And honestly, if you're authentic, man, it's like... I see comedy is a great metaphor for a lot of things, too, because you see it so much more vividly in that world. It's like you see a person has to find their audience. If you get up and you're doing all clean humor, then you are going to eventually find a clean humor audience. If you're getting up and talking about farts and boners all the time, you're going to find you're going to find Aaron at your show. No matter what you're talking about, you have to find your audience, meaning you have to get up and be authentic, and half the room has to not like you, so that the next time the half of the room that did like you brings their friends back. And I don't think people respect the patience of that in music enough. I don't think people are willing to go, look, if I'm authentic to myself and I keep working, I keep writing what I feel I need to be writing about, my family, my life, my journey, whatever it is, rather than writing what I think will sell a song, eventually I'm going to lose some people, but the people I gain are actually going to be my audience.
The real fans.
They're going to be the real fans. And even beyond fans, they're just people who actually connect with your stuff. Fans has this such a weird word. Like, I'm a fan. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's just a strange, I always have a very strange, I'm like, I'm a fan. When people are like, I'm a fan of your music, I'm like,
it sounds dirty.
It just sounds very like, I don't want you to be a fan. Just be my friend. Be my friend. Maybe not like, don't come over later because you're a fan and that's freaky. But
it's like, you come hang out with me at Pindrop once a week.
There's a paradoxical moment happening in my brain right here. But anyways, it's like, be my buddy.
Right on that point, because we were just talking about how the Tour Stop Instagram is just about to reach 10,000 followers.
Nice.
And that's been a huge milestone for me personally, because I want to get that 10K.
Yeah.
I've never had that before. And I
you can
didn't
get those balloons. We'll have a party
get the balloons. I'll wear a pink cowgirl hat. I'll wear the tutu skirt and everything.
10.
We did it. But I feel like I earned every one of those followers one at a time by not trying to turn someone into a customer, but just have a conversation, have a connection with somebody, and eventually you do find the community. You do find those people one at a time, and then you have the long-term people.
Yeah, 100%. And it goes back to what you were just saying about do I need to work with these people who are just bad vibes? No,
you don't have to.
You do not. You absolutely do not. Let them work with someone else who's bad vibes. They'll
and
probably
they can keep their bad vibes over there.
Yeah, just keep them all the way over there. It's totally fine. The music industry is like a tree, like a million trees going up in different directions. Like there's a whole career. There are people who are massive. There are probably people who are playing Red Rocks and people who are playing Red Rocks the next night who don't even know each other.
Right.
You know, the whole music industry is it's like small, but also there's an avenue for anybody. I really think there is if you work hard. And most importantly, if you're always trying to get better at what you're doing. I think, you know, so many people come to Nashville. I've met a lot of people anyways who come to Nashville very entitled because like all of us, they were the big fish in the little town where they came from. And then they come here to frickin' the Pro Bowl of songwriting, and they still have that entitled thing. They're not coming in and learning and soaking it up and trying to get better. They're like, my aunt told me I'm the best, so you need to think I'm the best as well. It's like, well, but you're not. You've been playing guitar for 2 years. Like, just keep working on it.
Some of the best advice I got early on was don't ask for something, offer something. And it's like, don't ask, hey, can I play Pindrop?
That needs to be on the bio.
Don't ask for something, offer something.
That's beautiful.
And you don't have to offer much. If what you have to offer is an hour of your time on a Sunday or a Tuesday or something, people like us notice that. And then the people around you notice that.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't take much. And then once you've, I don't want to say shown your value, but you've showed your commitment to being part of something bigger than yourself, the rest of the people are like, I like having this person around.
Right.
And it's almost a self-fulfilling prophecy of like, just give and be part of the thing you want to be part of.
Yeah.
The best way to be part of a scene is to just be seen. Yeah,
just be there. You have to actually be authentic about being in the scene. If you're pretending to be in a scene, that's the whole point. You're missing the whole point. You're missing everything.
Well, let's take a quick commercial message with Kiernan McMullan, and we'll come right back with more on the Nashville Tour Stop podcast. And we're back with Kiernan McMullan on the Nashville Tour Stop podcast, episode number 113, where I promise the next episode I will not be this congested. I swear to God. I feel bad for the listeners. All of you guys. I'm sorry.
Welcome to the Nashville Tour Stop podcast.
I'll just sound like this for the rest of the episode, and I think it'll really annoy everybody. This sounds great, right?
It sounds amazing, man.
Kiernan, tell me a little bit.
My knees are weak, my arms are heavy, my palms are sweaty, mom's spaghetti.
Mommy made me mash my M&Ms.
Oh, wait, have we started the podcast again?
I don't know. Well, Kiernan, you've been in town for 14 years. That's a lot of time to be in Nashville, and there's the term, the 10-year town, and I'd love to know your thoughts on the 10-year town, because something my opinion of it has kind of changed, and I feel like a lot of people assume 10 years is like 10 years to make the connections and 10 years to be like improve on your songwriting and all of these things and work your way through the venues. And that can be part of it. But I feel like the other side of that coin is 10 years of waiting for the people who we were just talking about, the people who are cutting in line, so to speak.
Yeah.
To just get out of the way, leave the room, to give up.
Yeah, I mean, the 10-year town thing is kind of this arbitrary idea. It really isn't true. I mean, Chris Stapleton took 20 years. My friend Taylor Gale took 2. You know, it's like, I don't know. It's different for everybody, man. Like, you come in. So when I first moved to Nashville, I was touring a lot. So I was out of town like 7-8 months out of the year. So really, like, all the time I was spending in Nashville, it was only a third of the year, we'll say. So I wasn't really here on the ground all year, meeting people, doing rights, doing my thing. And when I came here, I just, I had my community. I played some gigs. I wrote some stuff. But I wasn't just throwing myself into every room. I wasn't knocking on every door and trying to be in every room I could. Especially because when I went to shows, I realized I needed to get a lot better.
Right.
I had a deal. I was on tour. I thought I was hot shit. And then I came to Nashville. I played 8 off 8 at Mercy Lounge and got blown out of the water by a 14-year-old girl. Literally. She got up on stage and sounded like she'd been doing heroin for 20 years. And I was like, you're like 14 years old. Where did that voice, where did that soul, where did these things come from? I mean, it just came from being around everything here, growing up in it. I was like, dang, I gotta get to work.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get to work. So
that was kind of the attitude I started to have after I got out of my band. Is like, I gotta quit talking so loud. Like,
right,
it's time to listen a little bit. Yeah.
Dude, you grow so much faster when you listen. Mm-hmm. Talking is good if you have something to say, but we always talk when we don't have anything to say.
Right.
It's like our favorite thing as humans to do. We're doing it right now.
We're doing it right now. Are we talking? We're talking.
I have nothing to say.
This is the podcast where we've actually said nothing.
Yeah, we're doing Mad Libs. The
podcast
was
really
super cool. Mad Libs. We have nothing to say.
Mad Libs. We have nothing to say, and then it ended with nothing.
Yeah. Nashville Tour Stop brought to you by Mad Libs by Belton Bradley.
Mad Libs from Nashville Tour Stop. TM. Well,
let's talk
I want to talk with you about Belcourt Taps. You and I have a very different, and I guess Alex, our producer here too, have a different relationship with Belcourt than I know a lot of people did because we were there so much.
Yeah, it was my home basically. I should have just put a mattress in the kitchen, to be honest with you. Actually, for the first few years, I lived across the street too, so I pretty much did have a mattress in the kitchen. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was catty corner over on the other side. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Belcourt was was like an amazing little magical historic place, Like, I don't know if everybody feels like it, but I almost feel like it's one of those places that the city should have intervened and just kept it, like figured out a way to keep it. But, it's should be as cherished as a place like the Bluebird or the Listening Room. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. We just keep losing venues.
I don't feel like people are talking about a lot of the other bars that have closed the same way that our community talks about Belcourt.
Yeah.
It was a revered little gross bar.
Mm-hmm. And so many cool people like came up there, if it was Luke Combs or Maren Morris or whatever. There were people there the whole time, really like people It was like DIY Bluebird, you know? It was a place you could go, you could actually get into. And also a place you could go divisive, unpopular opinion, but a place you could go where you had to earn the quiet in the room.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God!
You didn't have someone at the door going shush. Like you had to, I would shush people to that 30-20%. I'm not going to tell everybody they have to be absolutely silent in the bar. The artist needs to get that last 30%. Like quiet them yourself.
Write a good enough song.
Yeah, write a good enough song. Learn how to sing it well. Captivate people. I mean, I got up at Belcourt in the early days a few times and just had people talk over the whole damn thing I was doing. And I was like, okay, I come at this differently. And you go home, you watch the game tape in your head, you think about what can I do differently, and then you learn from it. As opposed to going home and being like, they don't get me. Or some shit.
Get my music.
Like, oh my God. They got you.
Why didn't you like it when I started soloing with my guitar behind my head?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Really, just no accounting for taste, I suppose. Good Lord.
No, it was a really special place, but I've talked to Alex about this before and talked with several other people that even though it's gone, it forced people like you and I who were like lifers of that bar. Yeah. It forced us to grow up a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. I have my little silly one-sentence anecdote about the bar is that since it's closed, individually we're all doing better. Mm-hmm. We're all healthier, less drunk all the time. But together as a community, we're doing worse because we don't have that exact nucleus, that hub, that place at 2:45 a.m. You can go and like sometimes you want to go
where everybody knows your name.
Singing Mad Libs. Yeah, you know what I mean. It was Cheers. It was the best for us, man.
It's one of the only bars where if you break a window, they don't kick you out.
No.
I broke a window.
They'll frame your picture and put it above the window that you broke. Gosh,
yeah. I remember that place fondly because one of my favorite memories is actually one with you where the bar had closed and you turned on Rage Against the Machine really loud.
Could have been any number of nights.
Do you remember that? We were just hammered, just stomp dancing in front of the stage.
Oh, man. Dude, Ben regretted heavily giving me that Bluetooth capability. I was like, so I can just look in.
I can just do this now.
I can play whatever I want. You ever heard Rage Against the Machine? Kiernan, it's dinner time. People are eating chicken salad sandwiches, but killing in the name of.
What do you remember about the end of Belcourt? Did you play my final show?
No,
I can't remember if you were on the
we
tour stop
did our
last
own kind of final thing, Stevie and I, for our nights. But I think I was out of town during your final show, to be honest with you. I think I was on the road because I remember watching videos of it on my telephone. The end of it, it was very sad, but a lot of celebrations were nice. Right. But it's like knowing something like that is coming to an end it's a sad.
It was like high school graduation.
You're like happy, you're excited to move on, but
let's get together one more time.
Yeah.
And we drank so much that day.
Holy moly.
They did $8,000 in sales, which that bar normally did
that's a lot.
800.
Yeah, to like 15. Yeah.
But they didn't even have food. They forgot to schedule a cook, so we did $8,000 in liquor in one day.
That's so perfect.
Which for a 40 capacity bar is insanity.
God, I wish I'd been bartending that night. That would have been sweet. Yeah, I don't know. The whole last few months there was...
It was sad.
It was like a blip. It just felt like it all happened very fast and it disappeared. And now it's a dumpling house.
Oh, that's the worst. But I think we should all go there and just show 100%. Up to play a show.
Show up all in our worst state from the worst night that we ever would have had at Belcourt. Bring your alcohol and your illicit substances to the dumpling house. And let's put people where the stage used to be, at the dumpling house.
At the dumpling house.
And then let's have everybody play music. And I bet you 150 people come. And the dumpling house will... burn down that night, probably.
The dumpling house, feet, Belcourt taps.
Yeah. Dude, somebody can just film the whole thing, and then we'll use the viral video that we make to rebuy it.
To
turn
rebuy
it back
the bar.
into Belcourt taps.
Because I remember when Belcourt was closing, the building was up for lease.
Yeah.
And it's in one of those areas of towns that's so expensive, and it's becoming such a tourist destination.
Yep.
But have you been inside the dumpling house?
Mm-mm.
They painted it white. And I wish we could tell them the gross that white does not cover up.
Yeah, no, those walls are stained forever.
Stained forever.
Yeah, you can't clean that.
Just things
place.
I know I did in that building. It's I don't want anyone to know.
No.
That means that everyone's probably got those stories.
Oh my God, dude. Everybody does. If you could have a podcast where you bring on a different person every 20 seconds to tell you about the horrible things they did in the bathroom or the kitchen or out in the patio or in the back or,
behind the sushi restaurant
some of the most
that used to be next door.
Oh, dude. Which one? It was 9 different sushi restaurants. Yeah. I don't know. It's whenever you have places like this where you're so attached to it and to the memory. I don't think I could ever go into the dumpling house. I don't want to.
I haven't gone inside.
I can barely drive down that street right now because I'm this street sucks now.
Yep. It was a special spot, but that's why I think things that you're doing with Pindrop Songwriter Series are really important because folks like you and I are trying to maintain that sense of community.
Yeah, I think that was the kick. That was the push. Belcourt closing was the push to name it, and I think you're right. I think that's exactly where it comes from. It's we don't want to lose this. We want to have a way to tell everyone in our community, hey, we're still doing nights. Come hang out here or here or here. And,
right. And now it's less tied to one place as it is tied to the people.
Which is probably better. Mm-hmm. Probably better. Because there were a lot of people that came to that debaucherous bar that had nothing to do with the community.
Right.
Lots and lots of them.
Lots and lots of them. The 5 o'clock fireball.
Oh, my God. I mean, the guy who tried to fight me with his shirt off one night. So
I think I know what you're talking about because I'm pretty sure I had to kick a guy out who tried fighting me with his shirt off too.
Oh, it might have been the same guy.
Might have been the same guy.
Yeah. He was so strange. He like had his shirt on. He started with his shirt on, believe it or not. And then he was out the back of the bar and he's like, I'm gonna fight you and I'm gonna fight your friend. You're all suck. He wasn't speaking like this. He was slurring his words and being like, I'll fight you. I hate you. I was like, I don't even know who you are, man. I'm the bartender. You gotta leave. And he goes, oh yeah? I gotta leave? Okay. Takes his shirt off. I'm like, I didn't ask you to take your shirt off. I asked you to leave. And he goes, you know what? Fuck you. And then he walks around to the front door of the bar, and I see him walking around to the front door. So I'm like, okay, I go in the back. I walk across the bar, walk out the front door to meet him and go, hi again. You're still not allowed in the bar. And he's like, with his shirt off, you're crazy, man. You're crazy. You are out of your mind. And I'm like, dude, you're the one with your shirt off.
You took your shirt off when I told you to leave.
Look at you. It's 42 degrees outside.
I'm pretty sure we're talking about the same dude. I remember this happening.
And then he walked down the street away from the bar with his shirt off, not even in his hand. Where did it go? Did he leave it in the street?
Remember this?
Did he get home? Did he wake up the next morning in his jeans, shirtless, just like,
who took my shirt off?
Who took my fucking shirt? Like, what? Ooh. Yeah. And there were like a million people.
There was a lot of that
at Belcourt Taps.
I can only imagine how many more of those folks you had to deal with being the bartender there.
Oh, man. It was unreal. You actually get kind of funny, desensitized to it. I'd start to get comical about the people who come in and be total douchebags because you kind of have nothing left to lose,
Right.
And I couldn't be fired.
You couldn't.
I was unfireable, so I was like, oh, I can say whatever I want to anybody.
Yep.
You come in with an entitled, snarky
I have diplomatic
attitude.
immunity.
Yeah. Like, they're like, can I speak to your manager? I'm like, yeah,
no.
I mean, no.
I can't even speak to
We
my
don't
manager.
have one.
We don't have one.
Yeah. You can speak to the owner. He's at the end of the bar taking fireball shots. I don't think that's going to go well for you either, to be honest with you.
He's probably going to ask you to leave too.
He's going to like you less than I like you. So let's just keep it with me.
It's like, because he doesn't really even like me.
Yeah, that's fine. That's what it's all about. And that's what Fireball does to people.
Yes, it does.
God, I can't drink that anymore. What a horrible, horrible drink.
5 o'clock Fireball was a big thing at Belcourt Taps.
I used to work day shifts sometimes, 11 to 5, and I would do inventory and like test alcohols. Like someone would come in with gin and tequila and an IPA and a stout and a friggin' whiskey. Be like, would you like to sample all of these? It's like 11:30 in the morning.
Sure.
So I'm like, absolutely, yes. And please put it all in glasses in front of me. I'd like to try it all. So by the time the 5 o'clock Fireball rolled around, which was at about 2:15, yeah, it was bad, man. It was bad. I didn't work
2
doubles.
o'clock Fireball on a Tuesday, baby.
Like, what am I doing? It's 2 o'clock. I'm drunk. It's Tuesday. What am I doing? Oh, what am I doing? There's nothing. I can't do anything for the rest of the day.
Yep.
I honestly have never
here and drink again.
I feel like alcohol is a very complex topic or whatever, and it can be very bad for people. But that I've never really drank in a way that was like too much, except for that period of my life, because that bar was so arms wide open.
Yep.
Took all. Come on in. You don't have money. Who cares? I'll give you all of this. You can have it all.
It's like, I remember, I think it was my 26th or 7th birthday I had there, and the owner congratulated me on my birthday and said, oh, you can't get served tonight. And I was like, what? She goes, just serve yourself. I'm like, oh.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. She was like, just anytime you want to drink, just go behind the bar and pour something for yourself.
Yeah.
I was like, that's so illegal.
No artisanal gin. Everything else is fine.
It's like anything that's, cheap. Mm-hmm. Yeah, anything in the well.
Yeah, anything in the bar.
Or any of the taps.
Yeah, right, pretty much. Oh, my gosh.
That was a different time of the life.
Changing kegs there was really fun. In the basement. Nobody really got to see the basement. But the basement
I went to the basement once.
It was always semi-flooded. And you go down and there's a room in the right. And it was like, I mean, dude, it was like if you stacked this chair 3 times like that was the space that like all the kegs were sitting in this ice cold room. So if I wanted to change the keg at the end for this keg over here, I'd have to like climb on top of kegs and like pull it over another keg and pull this keg over like I'm covered in sweat from a bar shift, and it is ice cold in that room.
And you're starting to freeze.
Oh, dude, there's people upstairs waiting on me because I'm the only bartender, but I'm downstairs like lifting kegs over themselves,
like hundreds of pounds.
Because this guy's gotta have Tennessee Brew Works hippies and cowboys. He's gotta have it. We got 3 other IPAs on tap. No, it's
But that's the one.
I'm just gonna go very quickly and easily change this keg, sir. I'll be right back. Walking down the stairs from Saw 5 and like into this room where anyways.
My favorite was the Taps Brew, it was the amalgamous of whatever was currently cheapest.
Something with light in the title
Yep.
that we had a keg of.
Yep, it was whatever cheapest to buy from the distributor that week.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was Miller.
Sometimes Natty Light.
It was Natty quite often.
Yeah,
I drink a lot of Natty.
Golly. It's
A
brutal.
younger, poorer version of myself.
Yeah.
Now I'm just an older, poorer version of
Now
myself.
I drink regular water
Yes, exactly. Now
and actual beer.
Now I've
split them
proudly
up.
purchased my Keystone Heavy.
Keystone Heavy. Oh my god. My Bush.
Bush.
That's
Heavy.
it. Period.
Bush.
Yeah.
Well, Kiernan, what's coming down the pipe for your music life these years?
What a segue. Bush. Anyways, so what's coming down the pipeline for you?
What are you working on these days?
All right. Well, I put out an album last year called Apartment 13, and I already pretty much have another record written. I think I'm going to go in and record it. I feel like early summer I'm going to go in and cut it all.
Cool.
And
where are you recording?
So right now I record with my buddy Mike Fahey, who is an amazing engineer, at his house. He's got
Sweet.
a killer setup. He was Vance Powell's assistant for 10 years. So
Hell yeah.
Everything you've ever heard pretty much of Chris Stapleton, Jack White, Trey Anastasio, he engineered all of it. And so I go to his place and he and I just kind of work on it together. Usually bring in a couple musicians here and there to cover things. All my records in the past I've done, and I am working on another project with him, with my friend Owen that I spoke about from high school and stuff. Like every 2 years, Common Sense, half of Apartment 13, Best Part EP, and Perfect People Are Boring. I did all those with Owen. But he's busy right now. He's very busy doing killer stuff. So I've been recording a bit more with Mike and trying to branch out to some new people.
Cool.
And but yeah, man, I'm hoping to cut that in the summer. I don't really know when it's going to come out. I'm also producing
Really?
I'm producing.
Is this your first time
Stevie's.
producing something else?
No, I've produced a couple things. I produced an album like 9 years ago for a girl named Amy Schmidt, which is a really cool album that nobody's ever heard, and a couple singles for some different artists, Carolina Ray, Old North State, and yeah. But I kind of wanted to get back into it, like. Mike, when I do the projects, Mike engineers it, and I just focus on arrangement and music, instruments, playing stuff, and kind of figuring out, using my 20 years of studio experience and stuff to figure out how to make it all sound the way it's supposed to sound and make it the best for the artist. So I'm doing Stevie Ray Stevens, my fiance. I'm doing her new album right now, and I've got some stuff I'm producing for The Roads Below, the country band I play in. Yeah, and I got a few people on the list, that I'm hoping to produce for. Even Alex over there sitting on the chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to help people make. I really want to help people make versions of the songs I hear them play at the shows that really sound good enough.
Right.
Because
You don't want them to get too convoluted with all the other stuff.
Sometimes I hear. Look, it's all subjective. It's all opinion. I get it, but I do hear a lot of the artists that come through that have these room quieting, show-stopping songs and moments, and then I hear the recording, and the recording just doesn't hit the mark for me. It's like stale or something. It's just not right, It's just not. It doesn't feel right, and I don't know.
It's two-dimensional.
I mean, I do know why. That's why I want to fix it, but I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that to anybody because it could just be my opinion. It could be my ears. Too many years in punk bands. Maybe I'm just not hearing it right. But sometimes I feel like the arrangements kill it, or they do stuff that just ruins that thing that would make you go, wow.
The thing that makes the song.
Yeah. And it makes it the best version of itself that it can be. But yeah, I definitely want to be doing more of that. But I'm so freaking busy, I don't even know when I have time.
Well, for people who don't know what your style of music is and stuff that I see you play live all the time, what would you describe your sound as?
What would you describe it as? I don't even know what to say about that anymore. I just singer-songwriter guy with a piano or a guitar writing songs. I think maybe I'm a little wordier maybe than some people. So like wordy soul Americana pop stuff. I don't really know, man. Sometimes I feel like I'm writing folky things. Sometimes I feel like I'm writing acoustic, angry stuff. But then I'm writing a lot of electric stuff right now. I have a whole band project that's a separate thing that sounds like 1975 Band Camino kind of thing or whatever. That's a whole different project called The Breakup Diet that I'm literally...
It tickles a different creative thing for you.
It's a totally different thing, yeah. I mean, like I said, I grew up in rock bands and everything, and jumping around and throwing my guitar across the stage and wrecking the drum kit at the...
You're a Christian artist this morning.
Oh my God! I was playing Cliche at this promo video thing, and everybody starts singing along with their hands up, and I was like, "Oh my God, Cliche's a praise song? When did that happen?"
I saw myself doing that the other day. I was at a concert and I was just doing this like one hand up in the air, and it's like, oh God, I look like the person I made fun of at church as a kid.
You look like a Simpsons character or something like what is that? God, stop being into things. It's so lame.
Stop being into the thing that's giving you joy.
I know. It's so
like, I know
lame.
you're happy, but fuck you for being
I don't
happy.
Like that. Don't be happy. Be cool. Be cool and accepted. Don't be happy.
Just give me that stoic songwriter face.
I hope you take all the dumb little tidbits and just that you put them all together. There's no real sentences. It's just don't be cool. Don't be happy. Don't be happy. Be cool. And then that's it. Kiernan McMullan podcast. Tour Stop. The Store Top. Like
this
Store
podcast is
Top?
actually 6.5 seconds long, and it's just us saying stupid shit.
Yeah, just take out all the parts where I dyslexically said words the wrong way, because it probably happened about 900 times in this podcast. God passed. God passed.
Oh, he passed.
He did. He really did. He really did.
Well, Kiernan, we've kind of reached the end of the...
We got to end on that? Oh,
no.
Man. Ask me a question about my shoes or something. I can't end on talking like that.
I actually do have a question that I forgot to ask.
Okay, what you got?
So I actually usually start every episode by asking my guest how we met, but I don't remember the circumstances. Do you?
Oh, it was definitely a Sunday night...
a Belcourt thing?
Dirt road show, yeah. Yeah, I don't remember which one. I can't see it specifically, but a cool thing about that, and it's something that's making me think of, which is cool, where I'm gonna tickle you for a second a little bit. Back then, there was nobody at that show,
right? And
it was a Sunday night show. There was like there were maybe 3 people there, and the artists that played were all right, and you could only get 3 people in a couple rounds, whatever. And when I look at that compared to where Tour Stop is now, that's a lot of work, man. And I really seeing that evolution. It's like I don't know. I never know if it's insulting to say somebody was there because now they're here. Mm-hmm. Because then you're talking about that. It's like, is that an insult? I don't think that's an insult.
We all started nowhere.
Yeah, dude, started from the bottom, dude. Some of us started below that, and honestly, that kind of thing. That is the work and hustle, and also reinventing yourself. And I also saw a lot of what I think people in Nashville need to remember to do is constantly being able to check your own stuff, go, hey, is this working? No, this isn't working. Okay, I need a new logo. I need a new ethos. I need a new organization system. I need not that artist. I need some different people. I need more diversity. I need whatever it is. I need to make a better night, a night that is more successful, not just monetarily, but successful to the community and the people. And I saw that constantly change. And remembering that first night I met you, the change is vast to, what you're doing now.
Well, I appreciate that a lot.
That makes me think of that for sure. So
you're one of the few people who can relate to that struggle early on of just trying to make it work. Mm-hmm. Because booking shows, sure, we do this a lot to you and I. This is now second nature.
Yeah.
But there's people who try to do this and realize it's not as easy as they think that it's going to be.
Oh, yeah. Promoting shows can be really hard, too. I used to love, back in the day, and I think this actually is the answer to a question you asked about an hour ago. What got you into promoting shows? I was thinking about it. When I did all the tours with all the emo and pop punk bands, we would go to places where there was an actual promoter. Mm-hmm. The promoter was like, this band's getting a guarantee of $1,000, this band's getting a guarantee of $500, this band's getting $200, whatever it is. Whatever amounts, depending on the gig. And those guarantees were paid, and so the promoter had to do a good job at promoting the show. They had to sell tickets. They had to do it, whether the bands could
Brought people or not.
It wasn't about them tweeting about it and selling tickets. The promoter had to, drumroll, promote. That was their job.
Do the job.
That was literally their job. And now people are promoters. They just book the band, and that's it. You're not a promoter.
That chaps my
You're
ass.
You're the booking guy, as it should. It should grind your gears, chap your ass, do anything to any other body part. And it's like, it's lazy. It's so lazy. Now promoters just expect the bands to do everything. But like, one of the things I wanted to do with Pindrop, which we're moving into more as well, is like getting enough of a community and enough of a reach to, like Whiskey Jam has a great reach, right? They could put on anything, anywhere, and they can bring people to it. Having enough of a reach to know that a band that I love that maybe only can draw 20 people in Nashville, they can come play a show for us and there will be 100 people in the room. So they can get more of a fan base,
Right.
so they can come back. So it can all be a working cycle. If we only book the people with fans, it's like, it's a
You never grow.
catch-22. It's like going to a bar to be like, hey, can I bartend? And they're like, hey, you need bartending experience. And you're like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Well, what? Can I just get it here with you?
Yeah.
Like, can you, like, that's where, who's ever going to hire me then if I can't, how can I get the
That's
thing?
a great metaphor. I'd never thought of it that way.
And I think that's a lot of, like, I think a lot of people have that issue here.
And that's something that we have to do a lot of, is figure out how to integrate the new people to be part of the community slowly. And
Yeah.
it's not throwing you on stage immediately.
No. Come
Like,
hang out, meet
yeah.
people, be inspired, man. You come to a Pindrop night on Sunday, you listen to some great songwriters play some songs or a tour stop, and then you go home that night and you probably write a better song than you've ever written. Then come play next week.
Yep.
You know, just like be inspired, get a part of it, and also meet people. Just, I mean, you get this probably too, but sometimes people come in and they try to win the round. They're like, I'm going to win this round. They're standing while everyone's sitting there faced all the way up. They're wearing a sparkly outfit. They're like standing closer to the edge of the stage
Yep.
than everyone else. Like, oh, I'm all the way up here, man. I'm winning this shit. Nothing wrong with standing. Standing's totally fine. But you know what I mean? It's just like
Yeah.
it's an attitude. You see it in people sometimes. People that sit do this too. It's like, I'm competing with these three people next to me. And those people I never book again. I see them once. I'm like,
you bring,
good
you bring
riddance, go away.
a weird vibe
Yeah.
to the chill.
Sing with the people next to you.
Yeah.
Hear the refrain in the chorus and start singing a harmony. Be cool. Make it a better show. Make it better for everybody. It's the rising tide thing. If we're all helping each other,
Right.
you know, I'll say one. I know we're coming to the end, but I'll say this one more thing because this like dawned on me the other day. I've been in Nashville for 14 years. I spent the first 8-9 years here just so all about me. Like booking my shows, doing my thing, my journey, my things. It was all about that the whole time. And, you know, I toured, I had some opportunities, I did some cool things because I was always focused on myself. But I kept coming home and I kept being absolutely miserable. I was depressed, you know? I was like, what is going on? And one of my best friends, Logan, who now lives in Richmond, but he was one of my first real friends here, an amazing guy. He would always tell me, and I never really got it. He'd be like, well, just do more things for other people. Change your attitude towards your life in that sense, and you'll be happier. And I was kind of just like, well, what I do things for people. I held a door earlier. I'm awesome. What are you talking about? You know, I'm so nice to everybody. Yeah, right. You know what I mean?
Fake nice.
Yeah, and I'm not fake nice. I'm radically honest, which means I'm not nice. So
Right.
it's like, be nicer. But anyways, in the last 5-6 years, I think with Pindrop, I have changed my attitude towards being majority in service of other people and the community. I'm still in service of my own career. I still
Right.
work hard for my own career. But my majority now is helping other people, fielding calls from other people, booking other people, helping other people with rights or with projects.
Because you have
or
the
with
knowledge
things.
and know-how that those kids who are here for the first time don't have.
I can help them get the momentum rolling in that direction,
Right.
and then they'll fly and they can do whatever they want. And since I started doing that and changed that and finally took that advice from him, my whole life is a million times better, and I
Okay.
am way happier, more content, more at peace. And I also find I'm writing better. I'm better as an artist and a musician because I'm not so narcissistically absorbed into my own journey.
Right.
You know, and it just makes you a better person. I think. I don't really know.
Well,
So-
that's an excellent place to end the episode. I couldn't say anything better myself.
All right.
Well, Kiernan,
Just make a fart sound
Would
or
you give us
something.
your plugs? Tell our listeners where they can find you online.
My plugs. Well, my plug for weed is this guy, Andy. His phone number, I'm just kidding. That's not what you meant. Okay.
You can find me at 911.
Yeah, right. I'll just give you all my phone number, man. Just come on, hit me up. Come over to a barbecue. I'm just kidding. Well, my name is Kiernan, Kiernan McMullan, McMullan, and that's it. I'm the only person in the world with that name. You put it in Spotify, Apple, Instagram, MySpace, OnlyFans, Pornhub, Bebo, whatever you do, Friendster, just hit me up. You'll
MySpace
find it.
probably still.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I wish it was there. I got so many views. MySpace was so cool back then. I remember I was on the front page of Pure Volume one time, and I was getting thousands and thousands
Damn.
of stuff every day, all these streams that nobody paid me for, and all these
Naturally.
fans and everything. And then it all just disappeared. Like, wow.
Bye.
A lesson to not get so obsessed with your TikTok or your Instagram or your social media. Get obsessed with writing good songs.
Right.
Because
Can't take that away.
crap is all going to disappear. It's all going to disappear. If 20 years' time, there's probably not even going to be Facebook or Instagram anymore, let alone TikTok or any of that nonsense. It'll be some other thing called table without an E, and we'll just, it'll be like, everyone's at the table, they're talking at the table, we're talking at the table. It's like, oh my God, you guys are such idiots. Just talking an actual table. Stop tweeting at each other. I digress. My plugs are just follow me.
Follow Karen Mullins on Instagram.
Yes. Oh my God.
You can follow Kiernan McMullan on your Spotify, your Apple Music, on all of your social media. But come hang out with him on Sunday nights at Sonny's for the Pindrop Songwriter Series. They got a great community, lots of cool folks, lots of talented songwriters. What time does that show start every week?
Every Sunday, Sonny's in the clubhouse, 6 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Hell yeah.
And then on our Instagram, Pindrop Songwriter Series on Instagram, you can find posters, which are all different color-coded things for True Music Room at the Cambria Hotel, the Listening Room, the Basement, the Bowery Vault, and we might even be adding a couple more venues, and we go on tour sometimes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So.
Well, follow Kiernan, follow the Pindrop Songwriter Series. Thank you, Alex Amato, for being our sound engineer this week.
You are all
and
right.
every week. I forgot to announce earlier we were recording live on Music Row in Interstate Music. They've been so kind as to provide us with
Thank
a
you,
podcast
Interstate
studio
Music.
here in a centrally located place that's not my living room. Thank God.
With a picture of Hootie and the Blowfish and a kiss plaque on the wall.
A sign to Hootie and the Blowfish.
Oh, yeah. All of them.
All four of the Blowfish.
I thought there were more blowfish, if I'm being honest with you.
I thought there were more blowfish,
I thought there were a
too.
ton of blowfish, like 8 or 9 blowfish. But there's only 3 blowfish, because Hootie's Hootie.
Hootie.
So there's actually only 3 blowfish.
There's only 3 blowfish.
Yeah, it's and the blowfish.
So it's
Aaron.
almost... I don't even want to get into it.
Let's just make this podcast 9 hours long. Like, what
Cool.
are we even doing? Let's
That's
talk
great.
more about Hootie and the blowfish.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the Hootie and the Blowfish podcast today. We'll be back next week for episode number 114, though, of the Nashville Tour Stop podcast. Possibly next week. We're figuring out our studio schedule, so we'll see you when we see you. How about we say that? I'm going to make sure
ya.
that I come back with a clear sinus.
Yeah, work on that, man. For real.
Thanks, Dad.
Neti pot.
Well, you can follow us on Instagram at Nashville Tour Stop. Anywhere you are on the internet, though, Nashville Tour Stop, you can find us. You can watch the full video podcast versions of all of our shows on YouTube. You can also come hang out with me at all of our shows. If you'd like to find our live event calendar, you can go to NashvilleTourStop.com and find our whole production calendar. We do a fuckload of shows. Boy, howdy.
That's a lot. That is actually quite a
One
lot.
scientific fuckload.
Yeah, that's about 3 metric tons.
Yeah, 3 metric tons
Of shows. Yeah. or 1 fuckload.
But you can find us every week somewhere, someplace. And it's funny. Somebody just asked me, does Aaron go to Nashville Tour Stop? And I'm like, you should go sometime to find out.
Yeah, like, wow, why are you asking that? Just
Like
go.
when I was sick last week, I had to miss 2 of my shows because I had a fever. And it's the most Tour Stop shows I've missed in like a long time.
It's annoying. We travel a lot, and so does Stevie for stuff, and I hate missing shows.
Yeah,
I
it's
hate missing
weird.
Pin drops.
Leaving your baby unattended.
Yeah, I'll leave someone to attend it, but I don't trust any of my friends. You know, just kidding.
Well, follow
On that
Kiernan
note,
McMullan.
yeah.
Kiernan,
Come
thank
be
you for
my
joining
friend.
us today. Thank you for making the trek into Music
Dude,
Row.
of course. Thanks for having me.
Amati AV Solutions, shout out, follow them on Instagram. Hire them to do your video, your sound, whatever you need. Follow us at Nashville Tour Stop. And Kiernan, do you have anything you'd like to leave the listeners with? It's just a quip, something, anything?
Don't eat yellow snow.
Great one. Well, we'll be back here another time next week. Until then, please do remember, though, that all roads lead right back here to the Nashville Tour Stop.